Welcome to this session in the burnout journey at Kaylo. My name is Parneet Pal. I'm a physician educator who teaches skills and communicates ideas that advance personal, workplace, and planetary health. I work with business teams and organizations to address stress, burnout, loneliness, and sustainability using evidence-based strategies from lifestyle medicine, neuroscience, behavior change, and climate science. In this session, I want to share two beautiful positive emotions, awe and savoring, that we can use to help us deeply heal from burnout and build our resilience. So we'll start with awe. And I want you to start thinking about the last time that you felt awe. So just give it a minute and bring to mind the last time. So maybe it was when you were out in nature on a hike. Maybe you came face to face with the majesty of a mountain or a glacier or a waterfall. Or maybe it was when you were reading about or watching a documentary on the stars and planets and how the universe works. And awe is that feeling of being in the presence of something vast, something that transcends your understanding of the world. It makes you step back and say, wow, this matters. Now, researcher Dacher Keltner at the University of California in Berkeley, and he's one of the main researchers in this area, he says that when they looked at what produces awe, especially in those of us who live in cities or in many different cultures around the world, the number one way that people experienced awe was not in nature, but in the company of other people. So what they found was that it was usually other people's generosity, ability to be giving to others, that elicited awe. And in a worldwide survey, people talked about the experience of seeing someone die, or seeing a child being born, or somebody saving their life or helping them out. So these were the experiences that elicited awe. And of course, then, the second most common way was through the experience of connecting with nature. So practicing awe has many benefits that help to increase our stress resilience. It leads people to cooperate more, to share their resources, to sacrifice for others. And all of these are really important requirements when you think about the fact that we are social animals and we need to live together. It's a feature of our collective life. So why does this happen? Or how does this happen in our brain? So studies have explained the link between awe and altruism. Being in the presence of vast things, it seems to elicit in our brain this very ancient connection that we have with nature. And in that moment, it allows us to then gain more perspective. It calls forth a more modest, less narcissistic self. And this enables us to then extend greater kindness towards others. And in some other experiments, participants who were induced to feel awe, compared with other emotions, felt that in the presence of awe, they had more time available. They felt less impatient. They were more willing to volunteer their time to help others. They tended to prefer experiences over material products, and they reported greater life satisfaction. And awe also just feels good in the body. Experiences of awe don't just make people feel wonder and amazement, but they also tend to feel a cascade of other positive emotions, such as more joy, more gratitude, which are then linked to greater health and well-being. Basically, awe makes us happier. Research shows that people have higher well-being on days when they have positive experiences of awe compared to the days with no awe. And awe-prone people also show lower levels of a biomarker of inflammation called IL-6 or interleukin-6. And this then, on a consistent basis, when we tap into these experiences of awe and we lower our inflammation, it means that we are lowering our risk of cardiovascular disease or depression or autoimmune disease, everything that's been linked with higher levels of inflammation. So many, many benefits of tapping into awe, but then on a practical level, how can we start to bring more awe into our daily lives? So what I would really suggest and encourage you to do is to think about devoting a few minutes, doesn't have to be a long period of time, of doing something that elicits awe during your day. So maybe sometimes you might have the opportunity to just go out for a walk. It might be a walk in nature if you have access to that. But maybe even if you live in a city, just going to, a local park and spending some time there. Maybe it's spending some time with your pets or other animals that can help you connect with that sense of awe. And then, if you don't have access to any of those things on some days, even just watching an awe-inspiring video, there's tons of material on the internet, or maybe we can journal and write about an awe-inducing experience that we've witnessed or recently had. And then, of course, just being mindful and noticing all the awe-inspiring acts of kindness that are happening every single day around us. And then this brings us to the second positive emotion that I want to share with you today, which is savoring. So again, when you think of the word savoring, I want you to think of the time when you maybe lingered to savor the taste of a good tea or coffee, or the warmth of a fire on a cold day, or maybe that savoring, that feeling of being close, when you were hugging maybe a close friend or partner. So savoring is the use of our thoughts and our actions to increase the intensity, duration, and appreciation of positive experiences and emotions. So basically, or very simply, it's just an upregulation of positive emotions. And in our journey of healing from burnout, you can very easily make it a part of your everyday life. So what I'd like to do now to give you that experience is I'm going to lead you through a short practice that will help you strengthen your capacity for savoring. And in this practice, what we're going to do is we're going to savor the experience of kindness.